the velvet and steel world of the 1961 film version of Fannie Hurst's Back Street, strong women rule in a weak man's world, controlling life and death and spiritual resurrections. And in the pantheon of great ladies of the cinema, no one, at least in my opinion, gives more kabuki on a telephone receiver than Susan Hayward. After a brilliant run with the great director Douglas Sirk on three classics, Magnificent Obsession, All That Heaven Allows, and Imitation of Life, producer Ross Hunter made his unsubtle decision to film Fannie Hurst's popular novel. The two previous film adaptations had been popular favorites. The 1960 version is much, much more exploitative than its two predecessors. Wild in its period fashion sense and thick with the aroma of too much. The kind of 1960s gilded good taste that reeks of a room full of stale bouquets. And it works brilliantly, most startlingly and unexpectedly, in its wildly resonant depiction of domestic violence. And more specifically, the effect it has on John Gavin's character's eldest son, played by the actor Robert Ayer. This young man is heartbreakingly simple and honest in his response to his adulterous dad. Close to the end of the film, we witness a harrowing scene in a hotel suite bathroom between Mr. Gavin and his wife, played by the always wonderful Vera Miles. I'd like to think that Miles and Gavin became fast friends during their partnering roles in Hitchcock's Psycho, because the combat we witness between them is quite a sight to behold. Think of Vivien Leigh and Marlon Brando in Streetcar Named Desire, the tiger scene. There's such palpable danger in the way she writhes and strikes at him, slicing through her husband like steel. It would be a very, very hard scene to shoot more than once. And when we come to the film's final moments, well, you'll just have to see for yourself. I've seen this film at least 10 times now, most recently with a friend only about 2 months ago. Any friend I've shown this to, inevitably and bewilderingly, at least to them, becomes an emotional ball of wax before the final credits crawl. It's pretty hard not to be swept away by the film's almost entire lack of irony. Mr. Hunter must have tired of Sirk's thinly veiled satire and sock punches directed at American capitalism, and instead he chose to produce at his gayest extreme. The truest sense of camp is evidenced everywhere. Its too transparent gloss and hyper-artificiality scores deliriously. And as I mentioned, Susan's telephone hysterics are a wonder to behold. Never strident, always poised, and oddly contained, she delivers at an almost operatic level. And finally, sitting alone in her villa by the ocean, among the detritus of her accumulated wealth and fame, a door tentatively opens, and the challenge of a loaded new beginning makes itself apparent. She chooses to welcome it with the kind of gallant, adopted stoicism that makes this kind of all-too-apparent melodrama so blissfully moving. In spite of all its trappings, we're trapped. We're inexplicably stunned and surprised that we've been baited by this all-too-sweet sense of artificiality, and we've allowed it to invade and inhabit our own reality.